Yeah, I think, as I mentioned in my remarks, it truly has been the honor of a lifetime to serve the people of Wisconsin on their Supreme Court. Part of that honor has been getting to know them and understanding what they expect of us and how important they believe the rule of law to be. And I completely agree with them. I've spent my career pursuing and strengthening the rule of law every way that I can. I've seen how it affects people's lives. I've seen how courts that don't honor the rule of law affects people's lives. And I really believe that it's essential that we have people on our bench who understand that they have a limited role. It's an important role, but it's very limited. And so to the extent that I can continue lending my voice to that kind of philosophy, that kind of approach to the court, I want to do that so long as it's okay with the people of Wisconsin.
And what are some of the major issues that you want to tackle or that you think will come up during the next 10 years?
I'd love to tell you, but then I might have to recuse myself from the cases that bring them up to us. So that's one of the important things that we do, is we make sure that we're all unbiased and unprejudiced when we come to an issue, and so we make it a point not to talk about them beforehand. But I think in general, what we're primarily focused on is ensuring that we stay within the boundaries of the Constitution. This really is the people's permission to us to exercise this authority. And so our concentration needs to always be on that. What have the people of Wisconsin asked us to do? And then after that, we just receive the law as their legislators make it. They got a whole branch of government that's committed to nothing but figuring out what the law ought to be. And this is a way for us to show respect both for the people of Wisconsin and the legislators that they choose, right? We don't second guess what their legislators do. And we don't second guess what the people of Wisconsin have decided. And so in that sense, we take all issues as they come. And the framework within which we decide them, I think, is the most important thing. We make sure that that framework limits us to simply considering what the legislators have decided and making sure that it comports with the Constitution. And once we do that, we take that, apply it to the facts of the case, resolve it, and we're done. That's it.
I'll ask you the same question I asked you earlier. Said that Supreme Court justices are the home plate umpires. They're there calling balls and strikes. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Because that speaks to the objectivity of our rule. Right? So we're not supposed to have our own personal strike zone, and we're not supposed to move it around. Strike zone is defined, and a good ump will simply apply it. Right? And if you don't apply it, then that's significantly disadvantages the entire game. And it's not just that individual pitcher, but it affects the entire game. So if a pitcher doesn't know where to throw the ball, you can't really have a good solid baseball game, right? Same thing here. So if people don't know what the law is in advance, then there's no way that they can conform their decisions and their actions to what's required of them by the law. So the best thing that we can do for the people of Wisconsin is we take that law and we apply it objectively and without incorporating any of our personal opinions on whether it's a good law or wise law or effective or prudent.
So then what sets you apart from the two other candidates in the race so far?
Yeah, I think that's going to become clear over the next 10 months or so. And I think what primarily sets us apart is the question of what our role is. Is it just to apply the Constitution and the law that the legislators give us? Or are we supposed to incorporate our personal preferences as we make those decisions? And I think that's going to be the dividing line that you'll see over the next year.
What's your major goal for you running again? What do you want to get out of this?
Well, I'd like to get out of it another 10 years. But with those 10 years, what I'd like to accomplish with that is solidifying the idea of the rule of law, solidifying the understanding that our responsibility is to be faithful to the Constitution, because in being faithful to the Constitution, we are faithful to the people of Wisconsin. And as a servant, that's got to be your primary goal, and that's got to drive everything that you do. And so I understand myself to be a servant, and I want to be a good one. And so, and that's why I'd like the people of Wisconsin to compare my work against what they've told me they expect out of me. And once they do that, I hope that they find that I've been a satisfactory servant to them. And then if so, perhaps they'll grant me that permission to serve them for 10 more years.
little job security never hurts either, right?
Well, as I mentioned, Guy couldn't have a better set of bosses than Wisconsinites, and so the longer that I can serve them, the better.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.